Today's topic is something that lays heavy on my heart, and I want to be able to talk about it. But it is a little sensitive for people, so I just want to let you know that we don't shy away from sensitive topics in this group. I think it's important to have these hard conversations with each other. And that being said, I want to talk about fat phobia today and how you work through that. So, if you don't know what that is, hang with me. We'll talk about it. I get so many questions, and I guess part of it came from this. I have questions from young women, people that are looking to go into the field of dietetics, and they're interested in nutrition, but they only have this stereotype that they see online, on TikTok, on Instagram. There's these skinny, white dietitians, and they think that they can't go into dietetics because maybe they live in a larger body, or maybe they're of a different color, and they're like, I only see this one type of dietitian. And typically, I can tell you, I graduated, 20 years ago now. It was that way. But it's not that way anymore. And we're definitely seeing a lot of changes in this field. There are dietitians that represent all shapes, all sizes, all colors. And I hope this is encouraging for you. I also want to just take a step back and talk about this term, fat phobia. So, I see a lot of fear mongering content online, on the media, in the news. And it all goes back to, we just care about you. We care about your health. If you're, obese, I really don't like that term, but this epidemic, we just care about you. We care about your health. When you think about that and what it does to us, and if you've ever been to the doctor and been guilted or shamed after you left, it really makes no sense. And people do this to make themselves feel better, and it's their own internal stuff and biases coming out when they say things like that. If you've ever had a friend or a family member say to you that they want you to lose weight because they just care about your health. So yeah, let's dig into that. Today I'm going to give you like 4 things that you can kind of work through if you're someone in a larger body and you struggle with those things. And if you're a dietitian or a nutrition student or just a young woman who's interested in nutrition, I'm here to support all dietitians, all people that want to be dietitians or interested in nutrition, all healthcare providers, all patients, all consumers. You guys, if you're in this community, know that I can't understand the fat shaming, the discrimination, the trolling that happens, because I do fall in that box. And that box of a skinny white dietitian. So I own that, and I can't ever completely understand that piece of it. Let's talk about how you respond to people that clearly don't get it. Maybe you're living in a larger body and you have people harass you or say things to you or be nasty to you or troll you in the DMs, because that's the thing. Maybe you are interested in nutrition and you want to start to talk about it. And people say, it's not your place. Who are you to talk about that? And that's a really nasty thing to say. So first of all, if that's happening to you or has happened to you ever, and I'm talking about not just online, if you go somewhere and you have a doctor shame you or guilt you, you have the ability to make a decision. You can, online, you can block them and bless them. You can leave. You don't have to. That's the cool thing, is we have autonomy, and I'm seeing a lot more haze aligned healthcare providers out there. And if you need one, let me know. I see this bias with people in larger bodies that, sometimes maybe there's this thought that, like, okay, well, they're in a larger body, so they're lazy, or they're never going to be successful because of their size. They're never going to achieve XYZ. And I think it's important to remember, if you have had these things said to you, because I have conversations with people all the time, and I know these things are hurtful. Imagine what this person's going through in their own mind if they can have that kind of conversation to you. The insecurities that they must feel about their body, about food, about nutrition, how critical they must be to themselves. So if you do work around this, and this, I mean fat phobia, all the things that we're talking about today, it'll help you sit with empathy for these people. And so, yeah, I am bringing it back to you. If you're hearing me out there and you're a woman in a larger body and you've dealt with some of these things, here's how you can address that and work through that in yourself to heal. And for those of you that aren't in a larger body and you're listening to this, I guess if you see someone and they fit that stereotype, how does it make you feel? I guess I would just challenge you to see how you feel and sit with any discomfort that you feel if any thoughts come up. Some people are learning to check in with their fat phobia, and they're often on the fence, and they say, okay, well, you can be fat and you can be healthy too. Well, what if you can't? It doesn't change anything. And I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying that you can be any size and be healthy. But you shouldn't treat people like poo in any way at all, at any time. And that's what this boils down to. That's what I'm trying to say. There's a lot more to this world of health at every size than we're just trying to love our bodies. It's so much deeper than that. And it comes back to what intuitive eating and what health at every size is based on. I say this a lot in the community, a lot in food freedom, in the food freedom program and the Food Confidence Club, is when you have these thoughts in your head, get curious, because that's how we learn and that's how we grow. And that's how we challenge ourselves to think differently. So get curious and ask yourself, if you have any of these thoughts, why is this uncomfortable for me? What is really coming up here for me? Diet culture is so black and white. There's not much gray in the middle. It's black or it's white. And people engaging in fat phobia, they can't see the gray. And we're always talking about living in the gray here in this community. When you do this, when you get curious, when you ask yourself the questions, you'll start to see things. And things will start to open up for you. Like, by open up, I mean you'll become free. Like with the food, when you stop obsessing about it and you start questioning things and learning and challenging yourself and learning new things, you start to become less obsessed about the food, and you'll start to see that this has affected other areas of your life. So you'll probably start to see that this work that you do along with the food will start to affect other areas of your life in a very positive way. And in my experience, I've had zero classes on this in school. No, they just taught us about diet plans, calories in, calories out, how food is metabolized in your body. I can tell you every kind of, macronutrient, how it's broken down, how it's absorbed, how our body works scientifically. But they didn't teach us about fatphobia or being intuitive or actually listening to our bodies. And that's all come later for me, all this work. I want to help you, if you're listening, as like a future dietitian, or I want to help you as a healthcare provider, as a fitness trainer. I want to help you if you're just out there listening and you're like, I get this said to me all the time and I don't know how to deal with it. So I have some advice for you. And the four things, we'll break it down. Number one, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I think sometimes that's hard for us to see. I think many people are afraid to go get help. They're afraid to go to the doctor because they're afraid because of how they will be treated. So they don't. And that's really sad. So there's a place for healthcare providers in larger bodies and health at every size aligned providers that are safe to go and see. Number two, I would also say have a space to disconnect from all the food stuff. So if you are, and I'm serious, if you're in this and you've been diving into food and intuitive eating, it can be a little overwhelming too. To try to do all the things to be more intuitive, listen to your body. Everywhere you go online, if you start diving into this space, there can be so much information there too. So I would challenge you to step away from all the food stuff when it comes to health at every size and fat phobia. Find some other outlets because this can become very overwhelming, and this is supposed to be freeing and not cause any obsession either. So have space to disconnect. Number three, I would suggest finding a really solid size affirming therapist to work with, because if you've lived in a larger body, there's probably a lot of trauma that you have dealt with, and this is trauma over your life. Healthcare can be traumatic for you, and I get it. So I would also suggest finding some hobbies that are unrelated to food. And if you guys are watching the replay later, if any of you guys are watching this and you have any hobbies that you love that aren't outside of food, I would love for you to drop them in the comments so I can see we can start a conversation about this week. So yeah, like hobbies can be anything. Gardening, something that takes your mind off of this stuff. Decorating for fall. Has anybody got their pumpkins up? Coloring books. My husband laughs at me, but they are wonderful for relieving stress, anxiety, blood pressure. Manicures, bubble baths. I know that's kind of cliche, but I love it every week. And board games. I'm just thinking of things that have absolutely nothing to do with food, right? Houseplants. Our kitties. Those two don't really go together. They were eating my houseplant this week, and I'm trying. I have a black thumb, but I really try. I want to be better. I want to have houseplants. Not really working out in my favor lately. But yeah, name me some of the things that have nothing to do with food below, and let's start a thread. Doing things that make you genuinely happy are going to be so important on this journey. So that's number 3. And I guess one final thing, number 4, and that I want to leave you guys with today is don't get caught up in waiting for your food relationship and your body to be perfect, because that's never really going to be the case. I'm just going to be honest with you there. There are going to be times when food's not ever going to feel like it's not ever going to feel like, maybe there are days when you're working through this journey and you're like, am I ever going to have a normal relationship with food? And there are going to be days like that. And the same with your body as well. So it doesn't mean that things are always going to feel necessarily disordered in your head. But embrace those moments each day, and again, go back and get curious, sit with the uncomfortable, ask yourself questions. If you have trouble doing this, reach out to me. I work with people a lot on this, but it's learning to thrive in the moment, and it's learning to be present. So if you guys have any questions, definitely reach out. I guess my final announcement today for any of you guys that are joining us is it's early in October. We had our workshop last week for the Food Confidence Club, and from that workshop I'm actually developing a new course, and that'll be dropping into the app this week. So if you missed it, give me a little bit more time, because I'm doing more than just dropping that workshop into the app. I'm creating a mini course out of it. And it's a course on how to logically kind of look at your plate, set up a system, not a perfectionist system, but a tool for you, based off gentle nutrition, which is the foundation of, intuitive eating. Gentle nutrition is principle number 1. And so I have all this nutrition knowledge, and wanted to lay it out there in a tool for you to help you when you were making or creating meals. When those times that you go to the pantry and you're like, I don't even know what I have in this house. How can I make a meal? And I want to make something that's gonna give me enough energy to get me through the afternoon. It's gonna keep me from being hangry. What do I put on my plate? So I call this the shape your plate method. And if you're interested in getting the new mini course, then just comment me below. I'll reach out to you, and we'll get you in the Food Confidence Club. I hope you guys have a good day, and we'll see you soon.